Hello friends, today we'll embark on a journey of understanding business analytics and also data analytics. We'll start somewhere with understanding what data analytics is and add on to how to use tools like Excel, understand Power BI and Tableau, which is prevailing in the current market scenario. I have been working with data analytics for the last 10 years after doing my masters from IIT. Before we deep dive into understanding the different concepts using the tools, we would like to have an example show for today with the help of COVID data, which has been widely analyzed for the last 2 years, provided by the Johns Hopkins University of USA. Link for the same will be already provided in the description if you wanted to work on the dataset and find insights of your own. So let's get into how the data looks like. The data downloaded is CSV form. Just opening the data. So you can see first there is something called a state or province. The next field is country, lat long and dates, which is ranging from 22nd of January 2020 and the last day, which we can see here, is 1st July 2022. Now let's pull this data into an Excel and see how this data looks like. I've done some part of pulling of the data, so you don't need to worry about that. How to do that we'll be seeing in the next few sessions. So we can see the data set which is extracted here. The first column shows me details of state and provinces. Second one is the country or the region. Next one is the latitude and longitude, which would be needed if you wanted to make a global diagram of by placing each of this country and showing how they have performed over the span of these months from Jan to July. Next one is data set of confirmed cases for COVID, which is from 22nd of Jan 2020 to 1st of July 2022 per country and per region. Now let's bifurcate this database. As you can see that if you wanted to do a global survey only, we can actually drop down the provinces and states, state and provinces, which we'll do at later stage. Lat and long, which is only location for the countries, can also be dropped down, and only we can do an analysis of the state and provinces only. So also we have to change this data of the dates from the format which is given, because two sets of format has been taken up. Here you can see when we have converted CSV file into an Excel, it has taken two sets of format. One is mm/dd/yy, which is done for most of the days except for the first 12 days. Here your date and month have been exchanged and been converted into a date format. So we have to take care of both of them while converting. We, as data analyst and business analyst, we have to take care that if the data is not as per the business, if we have to either ignore it or we have to change the format of the data so that we can analyze it. Now you can see that the format of the data has been changed, so we'll use some text formulas to change it. So the first one, I'll just go to the PPT to show the formula. So you have used the date function. So you can see the date format is year, month and date. So I have taken this 20 into that year, taking the last two columns, and then your month is extracted from the 0, 1 or 1, and the last one date which is extracted from this 22. Details of this will go down to whenever we go to seeing the date functions or year functions in Excel. We'll actually read down to this. We have also used another formula for those dates which is falling from 1st to 12th, as we have already discussed. This is a very straightforward formula. So here even in the year remains same because the year has been taken rightly, but as we have discussed, the days and the months have been changed. So while converting this, we'll also exchange them. So the month is taken as date, and in the date we are taking in up the month. So we have got the days in the right format, and now we'll change this into a table for the rest of the processing. So here is the table. Now we'll drop down province and lat and long. We'll take it into a separate table which is location. So because this only represents the location of the countries and their provinces. Now you can see we have also mapped down the continents, because we would be like to analyze not only country wise but also continental wise. So we have taken up a continent also as a analysis point for that. Now we find that most of the lat and long, if you can see here, in Australia, though Australia is only one country, based on the different provinces or the location different provinces, it has been expanded geographically. For this analyst only, we will restrict it to country wise. For restricting in country wise, I'll change the lat and long and put it as one specific lat and long. I do here, I make it one specific lat and long. I'll just copy this into another sheet and remove this lats and longs. I have already highlighted where there is a province. So we have already consolidated them. So let's drop down the province and states. So we have country, the location of it in latitude and longitude, and the continent it belongs to. Now for the remaining set of data, let's convert this data into a format where we can analyze it. So we have to change this data into a sequential format. Let's make a copy of this data. We have already taken up the province and lats and longs. Let's remove them. Now click on here, go to the data tab. From this table, so we are taking this table, executing a Power Query to convert this data into a sequential data, or we are unpivoting the data. For those who already know or who are already familiar with the word called as pivot or pivot table. Fine, let's click on this country region, keep on press shift key, right click, and you can unpivot the columns. So here we have three columns. One is country, one is attributes, one is value. Rename the value as confirm cases. Also rename attribute as date, because that's a date. Also because attribute was row, so the values also which is seen here is not in the right format. So if you can see here in data, it is in text format. We don't need it as text format, we need it as a date. So let's convert it as a date. Just go to home, close and load. Okay, you can even do a close and load to very specific table. So you can see here we already got the confirm cases database, we already have the location database. We also have one more database which I have got from the population database of the world. I'll give you the link also below, which is country wise, year wise, what was the population. This is needed for making a comparison between the COVID confirmed cases and the population to show how much of the world population was actually affected. We'll need it for one set of analysis. So just put this. So we have the three sets of database here, a Power BI desktop. So please understand the Power BI desktop is a free version of Power BI. If you wanted to publish your other findings online, then you would need to go to Power BI, which will actually need a paid version of the Power BI. So here you can see Power BI already has a foray of databases from where you can load the different datas. Right now we were working with an Excel, so we just click on Excel workbook. We have the Excel workbook over here. Double click on it. Power BI will show you different tabs or different tables from which you can get your data from. So we had only three sets of database from where we are getting the data. One is the confirmed cases. The second one was locations, and the third one was population. Okay, let's so Power BI, whenever it gets the data into it, it also transforms the data into the right format. You can also introduce your own format if you do not feel the very efficient with the Power BI formats. So let's see a transform data. I just want to go to the locations. I do not want lat and long to be a huge decimal formula, so I just transform the lat and long. I'll just convert it into a whole number. You can also do this by using DAX, which is the coding format of Power BI. You can just go here and change what type of data point it is. Is it a text? Is it a long integer or something like that? Right now we're not going for that. We're just doing it with the help of the key. So you can find the data sets being loaded, all the three of them. So here in the fields column you will see all the databases are being loaded. Power BI has three tabs. One is reports, one is the data where you can see and analyze and change the data, and the third one is model where you actually relate all the datas or you model all the relationship between the databases. Now you can see that in Power BI itself, your location COVID dataset is already linked, and you will find the linking is through country, because we already know that these two were formed out of the same set of data, so they are already got linked. Now we need to also link the population and the COVID dataset and the population and the location dataset. So let's drag and drop country onto the location dataset. It also forms the data. So this is also related, but I don't want this. I want another dataset to be formed, that is between the population and the confirmed summary of the COVID dataset. So what do we form as? Let's find a unique data in all of them. What would be a unique data there? A country in a year would have only one number of population. In essence, there would be only one specific number as the population number for that country for that current year. So let's introduce a column for population and also for COVID cases. So let's go to the data, population. We are introducing a new column. Let's name the column as year, country, as is going to be a concatenation of year and country. So select the population year from population. Also we need to select year country name from population. So you can find that column being added. I need to add the same similar column to COVID dataset. So first here we need to extract years. So let's introduce a column. year where it is year of the date column. Okay, so we got the year. Now we'll introduce another column that would be year country, same way we have introduced for the population table, right? So where do we form the relationship? We go to the model back, we have the population, we have the year country in COVID sum. Let's drag and drop. Yes, it is a many to many relationship. Create. Now if we drag and drop the country name again from location to population, you will find all this data set is a dotted one. That means these two tables or these two data sets are already related through any another data set. These two are already related through the COVID data set. That we already know, right? Now go to the report bar for the other process. Now coming to the final part of it, which is we are creating a report. Okay, let's get me a slicer which will be used for slicing the dates. Just drag and drop here. So I'll be slicing dates here. Which dates exactly? Let's drag the date hierarchy from COVID dataset. We can drill down to the dates. We don't want to drill down to dates, we'll just keep it up to the months. So now you can see here you have quarters under the year, and inside the quarter you have months also. Now we also wanted to create a global representation of the databases. So let's click outside and then click on the global map. So we are introducing a globe over here. Just drag it so that we can elongate it, which is the latitude and longitude. Where do we have them? We have them in our location. So let's pull the lat to the lat and long to the longitude. So here you can see as soon as we have pulled them, we have all the data set appearing on the map. We want to represent a specific set of data. Let's scroll in. I would like to stop it from further being scrolled in. So let's go to the format of the visuals and then go to map setting. I want to change the map into a terrain map. So I go to aerial. You can see it is changed. Okay, well, let's go to here and we'll just off the auto zooms. We'll add zoom in and zoom out buttons, but we'll off the auto zoom. So I'll just zoom in and we'll keep it here. Now let's go back to the data set. As we can already see that we have highlighted all the countries in the map, but we have not given the data set of what data we want to represent. That's not there. So we'll add those data set also. First is let's add the country name onto a tooltip. So now if you can scroll onto it, you'll find that the country is India, it's Nepal, and so on. We also wanted to represent the amount of COVID cases in the country by a bubble. So we have got this bubble map. So where is the cases? The cases is here, confirm cases. Let's capture that as a bubble. So you can see the bubbles based on different country cases. We'll also introduce a measure here. Click on new measure. I'll write a measure over here. The measure is COVID percentage, that is equal to average of confirmed cases, because we have to aggregate that into one set of data based on each year, right? So we aggregated it because of that, and then we divided by average of total population and we multiply it by 100. So we got a COVID percentage over here. Click on the visuals, bubble color over here. Now let's define the color of the bubble. Here you can see that you can do a conditional formatting. Click on that, which based on what you wanted to do. I wanted to do based on COVID percentage. If it is a low database, then I wanted to show it as maybe green. It's okay when the whole world is affected. And if it is a very high, I wanted to show it as red. So let's get in the COVID percentage over here also, and also the total world population here. As we are not able to see the effect over here, so we'll just use a more detailed format for it. Okay, just click on the same. I just wanted a custom. Maybe I'll use it as 2 as an orange. Okay, so now you can see most of the data sets have turned 2 or have turned orange. So these data sets where there is the green, there is a very less amount of COVID as a percentage of their population, but in those where there is yellow, there is a high percentage of it. Okay, now let's also add a pie chart. So this pie chart would be continent wise. So let's put in the continent for this pie chart. So we need a legend in the continent, and this would be on the COVID cases. So let's pull in that. So you can see first, if we want the tooltips also, we'll pull in the continent as the tooltips here. So here you can see Asia was leading in the first year. Next quarter it was Europe. Third quarter it went to North America, and by the end of fourth quarter again it became back to Asia. And next it went back to Europe in 2021, and then it stayed there for quite some time, and coming back to Asia again for quarter 3. So this is how you can analyze different sets of data here. I'll also hand over you 2 sets of or links to 2 sets of other database, which is the database on death and the database of COVID people who have recovered from COVID. So you can also use them and form various other visuals if you want to work on it. If you like the video, please click on like, and also please comment in the comment section so that I can get a feedback whether which part of the video you have liked or which part of video was not so much liked. Also we need a feedback on how to improve the video, so please suggest if you want some part of data to be added or not to be added. All the data which you have seen today would be dealt in more deeper versions in the further classes to come. Please do subscribe if you want to stay tuned to it. Thank you.